brothers, sisters, and others of all colors. This, what you see on your screen right here, is a passion project of mine that I've been working on called The Outcast. It's a RPG RTS hybrid game where you play as a cast of reluctant adolescents who just, through the unpredictability of life, get dragged into saving the world. Right now, the ending of the plot is pending, but there is saving the world involved. Each chapter, I have like a sort of an apocalypse of the week kind of thing going on, where, hold on. Yeah, each chapter, I have sort of an apocalypse of the week thing going on where the sort of main threat of the chapter is based off of some kind of dangerous, highly dangerous apocalyptic thing. So, for example, the first chapter's conflict is based off of deforestation, where the antagonist of the chapter is trying to, or attempts to cut down the whole forest, basically. And the second one is about ocean pollution, especially plastic pollution in the ocean. And there's also some elements of just like climate change because there's offshore drilling. I'm still working on the second chapter, all right? But yeah, I have seven. I want to do 7 chapters, one for each of the 7 chakras from root to crown, where the first chapter represents the root chakra and the 7th chapter crown, obviously. But yeah, right now I'm working on my prototype in the Go.game engine. See if I can pull that up. And yeah, it's tough, but that's what it's all about, all right? That's what it's all about. So, what's the deal with this story? What's going on in the story in the game? The gameplay is really tough to explain. It's kind of like, the gameplay is like you have your active character and then you have your passive characters, and you mostly manage your active character's attacks as though they were a character in a game. Like, it's like League of Legends mixed with like a traditional RPG. So like you'll have your items, you'll have your attacks, you'll have your casts, those are your spells, and there was one more thing. I call these battle actions. Hold on. I'm going to try and pull up my design document because I do have one of those that I'm working on. Mine the background image. Wait, hold on. Sorry, 1 second. But yeah, there are 4 battle actions. There's your attack, there's your cast, there's your items, and then, well, there was your all outs. These are like your special moves, because originally my idea was like, it was going to be Chrono Trigger. I was thinking about Chrono Trigger and Earthbound when I was thinking about an idea for an RPG. Oh, there's my design document. So hold on, I gotta switch this over to I'm kind of new to OBS. If you get that out by now. Okay. There's that. Okay. We're figuring it out slowly but surely. Yeah, mind the background image. So here's what my design document looks like so far. Yeah, yeah, all outs were the fourth one. Bleh, all outs were the fourth one, but I've moved all outs into casts. So yeah, you have your spells, you have your attacks, you have your all outs, you have your items, okay? Your attacks, they're all going to apply a status effect that relates to the main combo system that the game is built around. Stun, knockback, and stun, knockback, follow-up. This is the combo system. Think about how Xenoblade has like your break, topple, smash, and then Chronicles 2 has like launch, and Chronicles 2 has launch and then smash, and then there's like break, topple, stun, I think, in Xenoblade 1. But anyways, yeah, it's kind of like that. The way it works though is that you stun the enemy or you hit them with some kind of knockback ability. Anything that's stun or knockback is your starter, all right? And then once they get stunned, or once they get stunned, if you knock them into one of your allies, your ally will do a follow-up attack based on the direction that they're facing. So yeah, you gotta watch the direction of your characters, right, as well. That's sort of a part of the RTS element, is just managing your units and making sure that they have making sure that they're in the right position to do whatever they need to do. And I've slowly sort of worked throughout the design as of late. Sorry, wait. Oh, there we go. I was going back to this. All right. So yeah, the design document, minuscule right now. The prototype, we're working on it. I'll show you what I have for the prototype. I'm doing this in Godot. But it is not showing up on my OBS right now. Anyways, so right now I was planning on working on the other two. Right, hold on. I should probably talk about the story too, huh? So our story starts off with a young adult woman. Her name is Willow. She is autistic, afraid of water, like deathly afraid, like super sensitive to water. All right, so she doesn't really shower and she smells horrible. Great start. But she dreams of becoming a musician, a rock star actually, not a musician. And basically, for the first time, like ever, her favorite concert, the one thing that she's like the most obsessed with, comes to her town that night. She has the tickets, and even better, they have held a contest to give one of their audience members the special guitar that the lead singer of the lead singer. All right, now Willow has won these contests before. This is why she has her prized 1999 special edition golden Igo guitar pick. All right, that's the name of the band. The name of the band is Igo. She's won one of these concerts before, and she's getting ready to win the next one. However, fate has other plans for her because, well, her rival, Veronica, steals her guitar picks, runs off with them, and throws them down in a cave. Now, who does that? And Veronica is kind of a bully, but I've grown to really like her over the course of writing the story because I can fix her. All right. Yeah. Her thing is that Willow, she's jealous of Willow's like independence and standoffishness, because she feels like she always has to follow the crowd, and but she doesn't really follow the crowd. That's the thing. It's like she wants to be independent and strong and to put herself forward, but also she kind of hates that Willow has that ability to resist her social skills. That's the whole thing. Veronica's a very, very, very talented not orator, but just like a very talented socializer. She knows how to play a crowd, and she knows how to get people on her side, no matter how childish her schemes may be. And she really knows how to really play with people's emotions and get people on her side. That's the whole thing. So Willow is so obstinate and bizarre and just like not like anyone, not like other not like other humans, that she just completely resists her attempt to be, or resists her social charms. And another thing is that, well, it's kind of petty, but Veronica wanted to show Willow her mother, who she admires, and Willow said that her mother's music was lame. And Willow really doesn't like pop music. She is a total musical elitist. That's her whole thing, is that she knows, like, she knows the songs, she knows when they're made, she knows their chords. She's heard them a million times. She knows the singers. She knows the top 10 lists of every single place. She knows a lot about music, except for how to play an instrument. And her biggest flaw is like she gets unlucky. Anyway, sorry, back to the story. So yeah, Willow has to go and find her special guitar pick because she will not go without it. She's just that stubborn. She won't go without it, and well, yeah, she runs into a weird salamander man in the middle of the sewer. Not the sewer, but just this underground cave. It's a huge thing. Basically, there's a tribe of people called the Nimjabe, and what they've done, they're the natives to the land that was eventually colonized by Mary, the country that they live in right now. The Nimjabe live peacefully with the people of this town, though. It's not like the people of this town, Hedao, are oppositional or colonial to the Nimjabe. They kind of just live right next to them and vibe. And it's because, well, there's more about Nimjabe culture. There's like two kinds of Nimjabe. There's the Valahati, and then there's the Oeyuta. And the Valahati are the sun seers, and then there's the cave dwellers. The cave dwellers have taken on the traits of salamanders because what basically happened in the history of the Nimjabe is that, well, they're a type of human, right? But they're troglogenes. They were troglogenes. And what happened was that some of them, or no, not troglogenes. Yeah, troglogenes, yeah. So some of the Nimjabe stayed underground because they just liked the safety of the place, and they weren't very into like moving, and they sort of adapted to that environment. And the other Nimjabe um, used the caves more like back and forth. They used it kind of like a thing, and so one of the kinds of Nimjabe sort of developed darker skin and bigger muscles because they're going out and they're hunting all of these creatures, and the other set of Nimjabe started to develop the traits of troglodytes, so they had pale skin. They actually gained kind of a superpower where they're able to detect like very 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 subtle vibrations from things that are like long distances away on shorter surfaces, or on like less rough surfaces. So if there's like a bunch of grass, it'll probably be overwhelming. But if you're in the middle of a cave and it's just like smooth rock with bumps, they're not gonna have too big of a deal picking that up. But yeah, they've gained this like seismic sense kind of thing. Um, they have very, very, very poor eyesight. They're basically blind. But yeah, they have that super sense. They can eat guano, and they're highly resistant to the toxic elements of the caves. Anyways, so there's an Oyuta in this cave, right? That Willow jumps down, and he, because the thing with the Nimjabe is that they love music. They absolutely adore music, and Willow spends her time singing in the forest, and they're like, "Yeah, what's up, man? We heard you're singing. We love it. Here's a freaking Nim lyre." And then she's like, "Nah, I don't want it." Crap, I forgot something. So the crazy thing is that as she's going to this cave, by the way, there's some weird stuff going on. Like, she's finding, like, she's seeing, like, the cross guards of, like, swords. She's seeing, like, spurts of fire and just all kinds of weird shit. Alright. She's seeing these, like, mushrooms that she's never seen before in the forest start to sprout up. It's like, what the hell is going on? But anyways, after all of that shit happens, she goes into this cave, right? And she can't get out, by the way. She fell into a hole. It feels like anyways, gotta refocus myself. So eventually she gets the Nim lyre from the guy. That's their instrument. And there's a story behind that one too, let me tell you. So, and then as she's starting to find an exit to the cave, she sees like a sword in the ground, alright? Sort of an Excalibur kind of situation. And it's like, what the hell? Swords? Excalibur? What is this? The 1900s? Is this World War One America? Come on. Swords? And as she walks forward, a freaking fairy descends from just the light from the outside of the cave. Right? It's in the middle of the night. How is there a light in the middle outside of the cave? And a fairy just descends, and it's like, hey, Willow, guess what? Well, they're not like, hey, Willow, guess what? It's time to party, but they're like, they just start saying like this cryptic shit. And then they're like, yeah, we're gonna wake you up. And then she's just like, fuck, I want to wake up. She's not like, I don't want to wake up. She's like, what the fuck is going on here? And then she like tries to run by hopping off of the sword, but it turns out touching that sword is a bad idea, because it sort of the camera just cuts, all right, and it just cuts straight to her laying inside of this like fairy ring of mushrooms around where that sword is, and she's sort of like laying on her side, kind of laying on her hips a bit. um oh man, there's shit going on here, man. I'm just gonna whip it out. Wait, hold on. Pause. um okay, I think it's like the bigger ones are that's chapter 1 draft. Is that iteration 1? Oh, this is chapter, wait, this is, yeah, that's chapter 1 draft iteration 2. I'm looking for chapter 1 draft iteration 1. Yes, awakening is what she's undergoing. I think this is the one. No, it's not the one. It's the same shit. Okay. Chapter 1, draft iteration 1. I'm pretty sure it's this. I'm actually pretty sure it's this. Yeah, it is this one. Alright. So yeah. They're just like, yeah, are you dreaming? It's like, am I dreaming? It's like, nope. They're like, are you dreaming? It's like, so they come up, like they come out of the light and they just line up, right? Like they're like, they're knights on like the line of like a royal inauguration, right? You have knights or soldiers in the line, you have the leader walking in the middle of them, and they're just sort of escorting her through. Or it's like, someone being executed. You have like people, you have like soldiers on each side sort of standing. But yeah, she walks forward and these two fairies are behind her, and it's like, I think I like the dialogue in my first one better, in my third draft better. I'll just read that to you guys. Oh shit, that's chapter 3. We are not there yet. Chapter 1 draft iteration 3. Alright. Yeah, that first chapter is like 20,000 pages. I'm proud of myself. I wasn't playing around there. Not 20,000 pages, 20,000 words. Sorry. Although this whole thing might be 20,000 pages. Let's see. Okay, yeah, it's like, okay. Yeah, okay, this thing can read my mind. And it's just like, and then the thing is like, why don't you listen to your own music? And so like there's eyes that appear from the outside of the room. That is it's a reference to my title art, or my the cover art that I've drawn, that you might be seeing on the thumbnail of this video. She walks forward and they make lines on either side of her, and she jumps over to the sword that's in the ground using the crossguard to support her weight. Yeah, this is what I was talking about. It's like, what are you going to do with me? And then it nods and it sticks its tiny hands out and spins around with her, and she's terrified and she falls to the ground. and then they sort of stuff one of the mushrooms from the ring into her mouth, from the fairy ring into her mouth, and then they're like, "Dude, the lady in armor said you could help us, so we're just gonna help you." And then she's like, "Tell her to speak for herself, because I didn't ask for any of this shit." And then like the creature is like confused. For the first time, like the creature is like confused, and it's like, "What are you talking about? Like, you didn't ask for this." And it just hands her the mushroom anyways. Oh wait, they don't shove the mushroom in her mouth. I think that's what happens in another one. In the first chapter, it kind of, fuck. I really like that. I really like how how it cuts to her just eating the mushroom. But there are just these scenes where she's kind of laying there, like eyes kind of blank, looking into nothing, and there's just this spotlight onto her, and this soft like spotlight like from above, and then like the darkness is like crawling in. It's like this soft darkness, right? And then like the swirling imagery for the background that just sort of goes around and around and around and sort of slowly closes in on her. And then there are these like weird scenes where like there are these spiders that come around her, and she's like playing up. She's like not really playing up to him. What word am I looking for? Like she's hyping him up, all right. And this thing called moments here that I have here is, oh, what the fuck is this? I don't think I've ever seen this in my entire existence. But anyways, moments are a whole other thing. How many? How long has this been? Yeah, it's been like 30 minutes. But anyways. Wait, hold on. So, yeah. Eventually, I'm not going to spoil the whole first chapter, but you know what? Fuck it. The awakening scene is cool. So the ground is like folding underneath her as like the trees come behind. Wait, hold on. No, I don't want to talk about the awakening scene. I want people to see it. You know what? We're just gonna. I'll just leave it at that. I'll leave it at that. That's sort of what I'm going for right now. Is it? No, I want to talk more about the story. All right. So, yeah, eventually, you know, she has this awakening, and we'll get there when we get there, but she misses out on the concert. It's horrible. It's a tragedy. And then even worse than that is that they're going to start deforesting her favorite spot to sing. Holy shit.jpg. And she's not having any of this. Alright. But that's not her main motivation is like, alright, whatever. It's like they're trying to like close off the space and sort of stop people from going in, and she's just like, fuck that shit. I'm going in anyways. And then she meets up with this nerd whose name is Brixton, and yeah, he helps her break off the lock because he wants to snoop around as well. And they do some snooping around, and eventually they have to destroy a guy and a harvester who's been possessed by these creatures from the other side, which is called the outside. So that's why it's called the outcast. Actually, the whole name scheme thing is kind of complicated. I don't know if I want to explain that now or later. I'm really proud of it. Anyways, I'll explain that later. Let's get back into the gameplay. All right. So you really have to watch the. Let's start with the movement system. The movement system. I want you to feel like you're a kid in a playground, right? You can, but without it feeling complicated. Unfortunately, this will remove some control from the player, but my hope is that it feels intuitive and just super easy. Like you're literally just using the control stick to do absolutely everything. It's control stick plus context. And like, so like when you run into a ledge, right, and you keep pressing the direction against the ledge, you'll just vault on top of that ledge, right, without really having to think about it, or you'll start to try to climb it. Or if you when you run off the ledge, you jump just like Legend of Zelda. If you run up to a ledge that you can reach, you'll start to try to climb it just like Legend of Zelda. I got a lot of inspiration from Legend of Zelda's movement system in this game, because I just think it's really cool. But I've run into some design issues where you want to crawl, right? When you want to crawl under something, which only requires there to be a gap in front of you as you move into it, but you also want to like climb onto the ledge. So I'm thinking that I'm literally just going to check for like slopes when it comes to climbing. Like you can't climb onto slopes. Boom, problem solved. But then this creates problems with like if you want to create a ledge without a slope. But anyways, yeah. If you want to create that sort of underside without a slope. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. I've standardized in other news. I've standardized the kinds of blocks that we're going to be that you should be expecting to see for like the level layouts, so that everything is consistent, right? Hold on, let me pull that up again. Pull the design document back up. Oh, there it is. I didn't have to do that much work. So anyways, yeah. So these are all the blocks that will be used for the that will be used for the grid maps. I don't really like to use grid maps, honestly. I would rather use something else for the blocks, but for now this will keep it consistent. Yeah, these are the like the sizes of the blocks and stuff. So that's how I plan to manage the movement. That's how I plan to prevent bugs and just like sort of standardize everything. I do have character designs. I've like they're kind of, I wouldn't say boring, but they're definitely in progress. Let's see if I can pull some of my character art up. But yeah, we're gonna need a lot of work. I'm gonna need a lot of help to make this game happen. But fortunately, I've done a lot of the work already. Oh, I should go into more detail about the movement system. Well, No, I've already gone into enough detail. Basically, super intuitive, super just like brain dead easy movement that you can just pick up and you can just run around and have fun. It should feel like a playground where some sections of the levels feel like these tight platforming sections where you're just sort of weaving through like narrower passageways, or just cheesing ledges to like do speedrun strats, or cheesing the slopes on ledges to sort of skip areas if that's what you want to do. But when I was thinking about the level design, I was planning on it being more I was planning on it being a little bit more open, relatively, not as constrained, but for dungeons, having it, be a tighter sort of having it be like a tighter maze-like design, 3D maze kind of design going on. Mm. I have done some work on just the art direction in general, where I started by using Earthbound as a base, and then I'm sort of going towards like Archie and newspaper. I figured out that Earthbound is actually based off of like newspaper comic styles, like Calvin and Hobbes and the Peanuts and stuff like that. Let's see. But yeah, I'm still working out all the details on level design and all that good shit, on art direction and level design. Well, level design is kind of that's going to be more something that is done after the main mechanics are established for the game. For now, I'm working on my prototype, and if it will show up in OBS, we can take a look at what I got there. But yeah, it's not much right now. I've gotten the basic movement system kind of working. Not kind of working. I got like the ledge jumping. The vaulting sucks. The dash mechanic. Oh yeah, that's the thing. The dash is kind of interesting because yeah, it is a speed increase, but you also have like a skidding mechanic that gives you a short burst of speed that's slightly faster than the traditional running speed to make up for having to skid and slide. But the dash mechanic is also important for getting preemptive strikes in engaging in battles, because enemies wander the overworld just like any other RPG, and you need to use the environment to you need to knock them into the environment in order to get an advantage in battle. Otherwise, they're just going to counterattack you. I actually want to go into more detail about the other system, the stun knockback follow-up. Okay, let's see. So yeah, when you knock an enemy into another character, this will build up a preparedness that increases with each additional follow-up attack. This counter increases from the knockback, increases the knockback from all your increases the knockback from your as this counter increases, the knockback from your attacks will decrease. There's a chance for the enemy to do a counterattack or recovery. If it increases too much, then the enemy will hit you with a counterattack and gain intangibility during the attack for a short amount of time, All right. The counterattacks are very difficult to dodge, but they can be dodged, and the recovery is an evasive movement tangential to your character that gives intangibility. So the idea is that you can't just like ping pong them around without reacting to their sort of counterattacks. But if you can manage to react to their counterattacks or their recovery methods, then yeah, you can keep the pressure on. But due to the changes in position, you might not be able to get like a really good follow up again if you've already set one up. Now, I've also been experimenting with another mechanic for the items, where if you consume an item near an ally, you'll share the item, so you still have to watch out for your allies' positions as well. Because yeah, the combat system in my mind feels very overwhelming and difficult to deal with because you have so many options, and you're doing it with like three guys, right? It'd be enough if it was one character, but the idea is that slowly over the course of the game, you don't even use three characters until like late into chapter 3. That's what I've written so far. The middle of chapter 3, that's when you start using three characters, and you only use them for like a little bit in the game, and then you get your real third character in chapter 3. Did I say chapter 3 the first time? I meant chapter 2. Yeah, you get your real third character in chapter 3. And the third character is Bennu. Bennu is she's an acrobat, all right? And her thing is that she well, I guess you'll find out. You'll find out later on. But for now, I think I'll leave it there, right? So, this is what I have so far for the Outcast. If you want to join my community, all right, for new updates on things, I don't think I'll be releasing chapters like the actual stories, the story and the writing for chapters, with other people, but until like the actual game is produced. But yeah, maybe a few snippets, maybe some dialogue that I want to write. But other than that, nothing like that. You know, not really showing off the full extent of the story. Oh, there's another thing I didn't mention about the game, which is a huge part of the game, which is the social mechanics. So on top of the battle system and the movement system, you also have the social mechanics to not really worry about because they're more of a side thing. They're not going to determine anything about the game, necessarily, but they are a huge advantage if you're able to take advantage of them. This game might be called The Outcast, but well, go touch some grass. Anyways. So the social mechanics are like they're pretty simplified. It's kind of just like a pick the right response kind of thing, but you will get bonuses for having certain stat points, having certain characters in your party, and there are unique mechanics for each world. For example, the second world has the Greek groups, right? There are these three social groups in the third chapter, and whichever social group you align with the most is going to affect. It's partially affected by the story, where people who identify as alphas won't like you at a certain point in the story, or they'll be more opposed to you, whereas people with epsilons will be less opposed to you than they otherwise would be. But yeah, you sort of gain a relationship with the townsfolk, and that's what helps you gain resources and just navigate the game. But anyways, that's the Outcast right now. I'm hoping to bring you guys more updates. If you'd like to keep up to date with the project, I will put my Discord in the description for it. You'll also be able to see things like my current character designs when I get around to actually like making them, putting them down there. You'll be able to see the prototype as it gets developed. I'll start showing off prototype footage for my progress. And yeah, I'm more than willing to help to let people join the team. I'm a unicorn right now. I can do a lot of things, but doing everything is insane. This is a 3D game, by the way. So, yeah. Like, I respect the grind, but yeah. I will be doing as much as I can. I will absolutely be doing as much as I can, but yeah, I'm asking for assistance if you want to, right? If you want to help, if you want to throw a bone or two in there, then I'd be willing to welcome you if you want to be a part of the team. I don't really have a process for that right now, but I'm sure we can work something out. If you want to be a part of the team, it's charity work essentially. So I don't really have anything on my persons to pay you, really. I have a little bit, but it'd be irresponsible to spend that right now. Yeah, you keep up. Everything is on the Discord. Everything is going to be on the Discord that you need to know about the project. And yeah, just DM me. I'll put my shit in the Discord and we can talk about this whole thing. But anyways, that's really all I had to say about my current project. Peace.